As a older backpacker, I get asked a lot of questions. Things like, why do I travel? How do I pick where I'm going? And more importantly, how do you afford it? So I just thought I'd do a quick video, explain myself, talk about me and why. So for 26 years I was in the British Army, and I was lucky enough to serve in plenty of places within Europe, Hong Kong, even the Congo in Africa. And with my adventurous spirit, when I left the army in 2014, I thought it had gone and I was planning on becoming normal, getting a career and carrying on from there. But then a friend of mine turned around and said, while you're thinking about what you're going to be doing, why not come backpacking around Southeast Asia with me for 3 months? And I did, and that changed my life. When we got back to England after 3 months, within a month I was back out, and I went out for a year and a half, starting from Russia, backpacking all the way through to Brazil. And in the years that passed, I would go out every couple of years, do 6 months to a year, and then since the pandemic, basically I just go out for 4 to 6 months, pick a region of the world, and then I'll go back to UK and get a job, do some work, earn some money for a few months and go back out. And in the last few years I've done Central America, Southeast Asia, Central Europe, and now I'm in South America. And I do it for the adventure, the freedom, the ability to wake up in the morning and go, where am I? It's addictive. So how can I afford this? Well, I was lucky enough that when I did leave the army, I was immediately given a monthly pension. And with that pension and the fact I have my own house, is rented out to a lodger. And without going into too much details, I get, once all my bills have been paid off, £1,000. Now when I travel, I need to have a bit of money put aside every month, so I bring it down to £800, which gives me, on a 30-day month, £25 a day to travel. That works out roughly, because I'm in Argentina, about 50,000 Argentinian pesos. Now that is to cover accommodation, food, transport, and even I know that in a country like Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, where I've been in the last couple of months, £25 does not cover at all very well, unless you are very, very cheap and you hitchhike. But I do prefer using the buses. So £800, no more, has to go up to £1,000, and even then it is difficult. But YouTube has started paying me, not a lot. It gives me roughly about £250 extra a month. And then we have donations made by so many amazing people going to my Buy Me a Coffee donation page. But even then, you've got to think about expensive buses, as I've said, and then medical mishaps like dentists. Or going to a place that doesn't have hostels and only hotels that will cost about £25-30 a night. So budget is always forefront in my mind, but it adds to the adventure. And then, how do I work out where I'm going? Well, for this adventure, I picked the cheapest flight I could get to southern South America, and that was Sao Paulo. I knew that there was a Welsh village in Patagonia, and that was my destination. And out of southern South America, the only country I had never done is Paraguay. So that's all I had to work on. Landed in Sao Paulo, worked out that there was a route going down, and every morning when I woke up went, do I stay here for another night in where I am, or do I go to the next place? If the place sounded nice, then I'd go, but I would check to find out if there was any hostels, cheap accommodation. I never plan, because plans always fall apart. So when I get to somewhere and people say, oh, you missed out on this, you missed out on that place, it's not on purpose, it's just because I'm traveling various countries that it gets to a point where I can't see everything in a particular zone. I just have to move on. But I'm still experiencing something in that area that people in Europe will probably never. But I love what I do. I really thoroughly enjoy it. There'll be days when I'll just go, I can't be bothered. But that's just normal life. You get that in the perfect job, wherever you work. And there'll be days that I'm so hyper because I'm in a place that I wanted to be, wanted to go, or there's things to see. But I still have 3.5 months left of this journey, and I still have 3 more countries to do. But my priority at the moment is seeing as much of Argentina as I can. And that's me. I'm Stu, an older backpacker, just travelling the world and enjoying it. And I know there'll be plenty more questions, and if you do have any questions, just put them in the comments. And if you've enjoyed my story, then all you gotta do is press that like button. But the adventure continues, and if you haven't already done it, subscribe. But until the next time, bye bye for now.